Hey everyone, it's Saoirse, and I am actually speaking to you from the past. It's October 30th, so that means that in a couple days, which is actually a couple days in your past, a couple days in my future, I'll begin writing feverishly every day for 30 days because we are starting National Novel Writing Month, and this is a time of year that I celebrate, I rejoice, I become extremely crazed and stressed and also proud for doing this thing. Basically, if you don't know what NaNoWriMo is, National Novel Writing Month is where many people around the world endeavor to write 50,000 words in the month of November, and that comes out to about 1,667 words a day. It's a lot, and 50,000 words, it constitutes a short novel. And I've personally used NaNoWriMo for most of the years that I've been doing it, which is since like 2015, 2016. I've usually used it as a way to just get myself to write and like writing short stories, writing little pieces, essays. I'm sorry, my chair is so freaking loud. I'm so tired of that. It's practically falling apart, like me. But so I used to use NaNoWriMo. When I first started, it was like, I'm doing exactly what it says. I am writing a novel. And a lot of people do that, and a lot of people don't. So don't feel bad if you're starting it for the first time and you're like, I can't write a novel. I don't have an idea for a novel right now, but I want to participate. Just write 50,000 words of anything. You know what I did last year? And honestly, for the past few years, most of what I did was just like spew words. It was basically journaling, on the computer, just to get the word count. And I actually found that there was some stuff in there that was pretty good and usable in other things. So don't sell yourself short. You can do this. And this is me talking to myself. Yeah, so this is me setting my intention that I'm going to do NaNoWriMo, and it is also me saying a little bit of my process, which is, surprise, very minimal. I'm not much of a planner. There are some people that go into NaNoWriMo and they have like an outline for an entire novel. And this used to be me. I think a couple times I had like an outline and I just basically had to write the chapters. And I knew what was going to happen in the chapters. We're not that person anymore. So my plan for this year, and I will tell you, my plan for this year is to really force myself to work on a short story collection that I've been talking about for an embarrassingly long time. I have written some of the stories already for it, and then I have a million ideas for other stories that would fit with the theme of this collection that I want to write. And I don't know what it is, but I find that I am not the type of person that can write unless someone's telling me to. I am not a self-starter, I don't have motivation, I don't have that drive that some writers do where they just get up every day and they're like, oh, I've got to write or I'm gonna die. I'm not like that. I did very well in school when I was being told you have to write this amount and it's due on this day. That worked great for me. I created so much work during that, just the year that I was in grad school for creative writing. Produced so many stories, and in a normal year where nobody's telling me to write, I might write one, maybe two. I certainly won't write a novel or a full-length memoir. But I'm doing a writing workshop in January in New Orleans, and I was accepted for the nonfiction half of it. So that's got me thinking, oh dear, I have to submit something. And I do have to submit something, I think December 1st. And it's like one longer piece that's critiqued by the whole group and then one shorter one that you just talk about with the mentor. And I have ideas for both. And I've known that I'm going to do this workshop for like the past couple months. And have I written a word? I wrote a few words right at the beginning, but then the hurricanes happened, and is there room in my brain for writing my little stories while it seems like everything is just falling apart in my vicinity? I mean, just everybody's yard is a mountain of garbage because their house is flooded and all of their belongings are destroyed. I mean, that's what the world in my town looks like right now. So it's been tough. It's been tough to like focus up and think about writing and think about my little stories. But I want to do a good job in this workshop and I want to get a lot out of it. So that is one thing that I'll be working on for NaNoWriMo. I will be working on those 2 pieces, and then aside from those, it will probably just be the short story collection. And, you know, I'm the type of writer that writes really autobiographical stuff. It's pretty obvious that most of my fiction has a very strong element of me in it because that is what I know best, and I write to kind of be understood and to be a voice for people who might think like me and feel very, very alone with that, and don't know that there's somebody out there who's also thinking this way and feeling nuts and feeling isolated. And a lot of writers have saved me by showing me that I'm not alone, so I want to do that for other people. So I write a lot of very character study, kind of literary fiction, introspective, first-person narratives. And I've been really excited about this idea for this collection. And I just hate that I don't have that drive to really work on it all the time. I wish that I did. I have a sort of what's the word, ennui, something like that. And especially with these things that have been going on lately, it really feels like there's no point. But that's not true because think about throughout history all terrible things that have happened and how people have still continued to create art because it's kind of the only thing that keeps us sane. Art and community, and NaNoWriMo is the perfect coming together of those things because it's a bunch of people creating at the same time. Like you know you're not alone in the world when everybody is also feverishly at their keyboards going like this with their eyes like this, like I've got to write 1,000 more words today. And to think about going from what I normally do, which is not write at all, to suddenly writing 50,000 words in 1 month, it's a little unhinged. But it's always worked. You know, even the years when I have been so busy or so mentally unstable that I've just written journalistic nonsense. I don't know if journalistic is the right word. I'm not a journalist. But, you know, just putting my own thoughts out there with no narrative and no structure. And then there's the years when I've actually worked on a full-length novel or memoir, and then like a couple of years I did that, and then in December finished it. Like I would have a full book in 2 months. And that's just wild. So I hope I can get even a fraction of that done and just feel a little bit accomplished because something's got to give. So I have, gosh, so many notes and things, and this is mostly my journal for community poetry, so it has a million poems in it, but some of those things, some of those ideas I will use for prose because I love to write poetry, but first and foremost, like I've always been a prose writer. So I like the idea of taking some of those things which I'd already kind of written as prose poems and making them longer pieces. There is so much freedom in prose that I sometimes feel like, I can't do this in poetry because I'm trying to keep this rhythm and try to keep it shorter, you know, whereas prose I can go on and on and on for 10 pages and as long as it's, you know, tight writing, then that's okay. That's acceptable in prose. I do a lot of spoken word poetry, and you know, nobody really wants to listen beyond 4 minutes. That's kind of like tops. So that's what I write to now. I'm like, you can't go over 4 minutes. So I've never been good at brevity. I don't know if you've watched my videos, but they tend to be longer, and I do not like to edit. And that's something about NaNoWriMo. You don't edit. I am terrible, and I kind of like am editing as I go because I hate to do the editing later thing. Like, I just can't do the thing that people say you're supposed to do during NaNoWriMo, which is just free write and get it all out there and then go back, you know, next month or later and fix it all. I would rather it be exactly what I want it to be right now so that I don't have to do that. I know that's not realistic, but my jaw literally hurts from talking because that is how little I've been talking, I guess. But I have these cute little notebooks that I got at Epcot, Kiki's Delivery Service, and Spirited Away. And I just saw Howl's Moving Castle for the first time ever. I know, that's crazy. But they didn't have one. They didn't have a Howl's journal. So anyway, I got these notebooks, and I recently went on a trip to Boston and Cape Cod. And check out my leaves. That one, for some reason, got its top chopped off there. But like, it was so exciting to see autumn leaves. And I've pressed them in my notebook. Anyway, that's relevant because I took this notebook on the trip, and I was just so inspired. And like, the first place I went when I got there was the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. Oh my god, if you go to Boston and you don't go there, you're missing out. It is so freaking beautiful. And like, yeah, is that obvious of me to like a place that was built in like 1904 and by a strong independent woman who liked to collect stuff and liked to have an indoor gigantic garden? Yeah, that's obvious. But yeah, it was so inspiring. I just sat there and looked at all the plants and was like, I can write again. So I just was like scribbling, and then I went to Boston Common and was watching the geese, and the geese were so inspiring, so I was writing about them, and it was good. It was a good feeling to be out of my normal zone, my normal environment where I don't feel inspired anymore, and I find it really hard to write because I associate everything with stress and trauma and grief, and it was good to go somewhere else and like have new eyes and see a whole other season too. Like, don't remember, please, that we don't have seasons like that here. So I don't see fall leaves. There were leaves on the ground that I could kick and throw and play with. And I hung out with my friend Emily, who I haven't seen in 8 years, and who I met in Italy. We were both on this trip to Italy. It was called, I don't know if they call it the same thing now, it was called EF College Break, and it was like people under 30 or something who were usually solo travelers, and you would just meet friends and stuff, and it was so amazing, and we kept in touch all these years, but we never saw each other again, so that was really, really great. And I got to go to a Titanic exhibit with tons of artifacts that I've never seen before. So I feel just, there's a lot of inspiration in my brain right now. Can I maintain that moving forward into NaNoWriMo? We will see. But, you know, I have all this stuff and all the millions of notes in my phone. And if I can't turn that into something, then just, you know, take away my writing license. I don't know if I've covered anything that was worth saying. Bottom line, if you're even still watching, which I just doubt many people are, so I could pretty much just say any kind of unhinged stuff right now. But bottom line, happy NaNoWriMo, since it has already started once I post this video. Check in with your writing friends. They're going to lose their minds this month. And maybe I'll do an update about how it's going, unless I'm feeling real dejected about it. So don't expect too much. I am still dealing with not knowing if I need to get out of my house because it's full of mold from the hurricane floods. So it's very cool, very cool. But I am reading like feverishly lately. That's my word of this video, feverishly. I'm reading so much. And because I should do a whole video about this. I went to Boston to see Jenny Slate read from her new book, Life Form. So I read that. I read an incredible book called In the Distance, which I'm going to do a video on. And I'm reading Jenny's husband Ben's book right now. I've also been rereading all the Harry Potters, so the fourth one is going to be next. I haven't really thought, like, how am I going to do a video encompassing, you know, rereading all the Harry Potter books as an adult. I don't know. I don't know how I want to do that, but lots of thoughts. Good luck to you if you are participating and you're going to write a lot this month. I don't know if you have any ideas about, like, can we do like one of those things where we all write together? What do you call that? Like, we have write-ins in person, and I hope that happens this year. But I know on Discord people do writing sprints and whatever. I have no clue how to use Discord. I just can't. I looked at it today and I was like, I don't know what this means. It's a lot of like little robot-looking avatars and stuff, and I don't understand it. But if there's some way that we could all do a sort of writing thing, if anybody's interested in that, let me know. I don't know, maybe I could facilitate it through my Instagram. That would be an idea. I gotta go get more tech savvy, so BRB. But yep, that's it. So I can't really think of anything else, and I don't know if anybody's watching. But thank you for being here, and good luck to you if you're participating. Remember, you don't need to have a big old fancy plan. You can just go into it and, you know, make your little account on NaNoWriMo, which I will link, and you can have your buddies, you can add all your little buddies on there and keep track of your word count, and that's really what keeps me going. Is just I get addicted to putting that word count in like every time I write a sentence. Sometimes I write half a sentence and I put that new word count in. Do it. Nobody can tell you that you can't do that. And you know, if you get behind and you need to write like 5,000 words one day to catch up, you got this, and you can just write a bunch of random nonsense, and I don't think that is bad. And if anybody tells you that you're doing it wrong, they are a meanie and a bully, and you are still a writer even if you don't have this fully fledged, perfect, polished novel by the end of the month. That would be very unrealistic. So just go forth and create. And yeah, let's hope we see each other on the other side. Hopefully I'll get those book videos up this month, in addition to doing all this writing and mold remediation. Oh my god, wish me luck. Okay. Thanks for watching. Until next time, happy reading.